Hey guys, James here today and welcome back to another house building video here in The Sims 4. Now you might recognize this one because in my recent Sims 4 update video, I did show this off a little bit, but today we're going to be doing the house building video of it, and this is going to be an off-the-grid home located in Solani. So if you don't know what off-the-grid means, it's basically a lot trait that you can put in onto your houses and all that. That means you don't have to pay bills, but it also means you don't have any electricity or running water. So every item that we place has to be, working with that. So it means that certain toilets and electronic appliances are not going to work. So we have to use the right toilets, the right appliances, make sure we can actually live a sustainable life. Now, the off-the-grid trait is a little bit weird to play with sometimes. It's still not perfect, but it is a fun thing and a fun little addition to the game. It's a little bit of a challenge, and it's definitely a challenge to build with that as well, because it obviously means you can't have any regular lighting. So we had to play around and make sure we use like candle-based lights and just actually being able to light up this place properly was probably the hardest challenge. Well, light up a place properly and have it looking good was the challenge, I think, because I was able to light it up, but I think I don't know if I might have cut out a bunch of it where I was just trying to choose lights. It takes a while. It takes a while to get that stuff right. So I actually based this off, I think I just like Google image search like beach hut or something like that, and I sort of just went with it and based it off that. But I think it looks sweet. So we got this big like thatched roof that overhangs the edges, and it's very, very open, very breezy, especially because it's in a tropical environment. I thought it'd be okay, it'd be quite nice. But then obviously because the roof overhangs quite a bit, I guess if the weather was a little bit more stormy during the monsoon and all that, it might be, you'd probably be okay because you could still cover it up and, close the windows would be helpful. So I did some, I started off with some grass like this, and I don't worry, I toned it down. It's like, I was just trying to get it to like blend in a little bit more, because obviously this whole lot is a beach, but I wanted to like, I don't know, have it blend in a bit more and have like the ability to have some foliage around the place. I don't know, I spent ages trying to make it look okay, but then I was just like, whatever, it'll be fine. Like when we put some plants over it, it'll look nice. Trying to like blend terrain in is sometimes one of the most difficult things to make it look like natural. Like right now it looks a bit dumb, but I think once we start putting plants over it, it's okay. So the other thing is I obviously opened up the roof in here. So once if you go into like sort of, you really zoom in and sort of look up with the roof on, you can see the whole curvature of the roof. Like it's all open and really, really nice. But it means whenever you build a second room, like the bathroom, it means that room doesn't actually have a roof on it. If that makes sense. I don't know. We'll jump in at the end of this video. We'll jump into the game and I'll like show you up close what it actually looks like, so you'll be able to get a better idea of it. But it's kind of interesting. But I figured, you're off the grid. You're living on a private island, basically. It's probably okay. So yeah, this is where I'm going through the lights and I'm trying to find some stuff. And I was having trouble with the search filters because they added in some new filters, but they're still a little rough around the edges to find stuff. So I'm still having to like look through the catalog and find what actually works. And a lot of the stuff that works, it looks kind of ridiculous. So it's, it was kind of a balance of finding stuff that looks okay and finding stuff that will actually light up enough. Because there's plenty of like lights that work, but some of them look like ridiculous, and then they also don't provide enough light. But ended up with these candles from Vampire Game Pack, which I guess look pretty gothic when you actually look at them closely, but when they're sort of surrounded by the rest of the decor and the build and we sort of furnished it all, I think it looks a lot better. Because like right now it's just like these giant gothic candles on the walls there. It's like it's probably not the best. Now, the other thing is, so there's no fridges that are actually off the grid. They all partially work though. So like when you click on a fridge, there is like the cook option, but you can only make stuff that doesn't require, I guess, refrigeration, if that makes sense. Like you can make stuff like salads and all that. But there's no like actual other food storage. Like it's interesting. Like if you play with the trait, you'll sort of see what I mean. But so the fridge is mostly just decorative in this build because when I found that out, I was like, I don't know if I should get rid of it, because when you get rid of the fridge, the kitchen looks kind of lame. So I figured it'd still at least be kind of like some sort of pantry thing that they can use. So I was like, that's fine. You could also use the little portable coolers from Outdoor Retreat. Like I considered putting those in, but I thought it might look kind of dumb, so I just didn't. So I just chose not to, because it would look kind of silly in the kitchen. So I was like, maybe we'll just leave the cooler out. If you want to put a cooler in, you could do that. And then, so this is basically a one-room build except for the bathroom. So I guess in a way it's like a little studio apartment. Well, not apartment, it's like a little studio house, a little bungalow. So we got the kitchen here, and then I just did like a little dining table opposite it. And then we also have like the bed in this room as well. I think it looks really cool though. I had so much fun with this, and obviously some of you guys have already seen this build, but seeing it all come together, like I changed my mind quite a bit. Like I originally had the kitchen over the other side, and I was trying to figure out where all this stuff would go. I also figured that this person was someone that, you know, they whatever is going to fit in here, they put in here. It's by no means like a cluttered build, but it is not something that is empty either. I don't know what I'm even saying, but you know, like there's like little bits and pieces here and there. Quite a few plants as well. Figured that was important because obviously I think off the grid trait is one that seems very sort of environmentally conscious as well. Like one where they'd be conserving their amount of water usage because obviously you can only use certain plumbing items. I really wish that they had added like some sort of water tank or like solar panels or something that made off the grid more reasonable, because obviously they have flagged some items that will work with plumbing and electricity. Well, not electricity, I guess there's no electricity, but the plumbing items, they will just like work when there's clearly no way that you would actually have running water. It'd be nice if it, like, even if it was just like a small item that you just put in the backyard, like purely decorative, but those items don't work until you put a rainwater tank in, you know? I don't know. It would have just added that nice little bit of realism. Or even if they had solar panels in the game, and rather than doing off the grid, if you added solar panels, they might be expensive, but then your bills would be reduced if you had more and more of them. And then maybe at a certain point, if you bought like a whole bunch of solar panels that completely offset your electric usage, you'd start getting paid money instead, because that's what can happen if you have them in real life. If you produce enough electricity and you're actually adding electricity to the grid, then they start paying you for that. So that would be really cool. I think that would be so fun. I would love that kind of addition to the game. Like if we had some sort of because I think that was actually when they did the Laundry Day stuff pack, because that was a community voted one. I think one of the options was like eco living, which would include like solar panels and all that kind of stuff. And I think that would be such an awesome pack to have in the game. And I think especially like in like combination with Sulani and the off the grid trait, being able to like live completely sustainably would be sweet. Also, I feel like it's a really Sims thing to do. Like, I don't know, Sims is pretty supportive of a lot of cool stuff. So I don't know. Think about it, guys. I don't know why I'm now preaching this as something that we need, but I think it'd be sweet. It'd be really good for like rags to riches as well. I think that'd be cool. Anyway, so the bed goes here. I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. It's almost like a big centerpiece of the room. Like it is most of the space. I thought it looked really cool on the sort of diagonal in the corner there. We got that bed from Island Living, and it just sort of sits there. It sort of hangs out there, and then we get like a little sort of couch in the corner there, and I think that's kind of it in terms of like furniture. Like obviously we didn't do a TV because, I mean, there's no electricity, so you're not going to be able to watch it. So there's no point having that. I think, yeah, we do a little desk and I do like a little notebook. Obviously, the notebook is decorative, but it's just like that's where you could work and look out the window there. I thought that'd be really, really nice to just hang out, you know. I think this is somewhere that you come and write your novels, you know, just get inspired by the landscape. Isn't it just beautiful? And then again, lots of plants. And I was also like, I probably should have like a bookcase in here. It'd be kind of like that seems like something that makes a lot of sense, because I was trying to figure out, it's like, what other items could we do? Like what kind of skill-based items could we actually have in this place that do not require power? And I was like, you know what? Obviously, bookcases, an easel would be good. I don't think I put an easel in, but some of that stuff would be really good. All that sort of art-based stuff would be super nice. And then, the bathroom, it's kind of interesting as well. I feel like bathtubs are kind of a bit strange, because I've heard that if you have a toddler, you can't really bathe them, but you kind of can. There's like, I think there's like some weird workaround with the off the grid trait where it does work, but it kind of doesn't. I don't know. It's all kind of weird. The off the grid trait still needs a bit of work. Also, I put in the fan, and then I realized yeah, a fan for this build would be perfect. But then of course it requires electricity, so it doesn't work. So had to get rid of that in the end. Would have been nice to have that in there. I also put these little rafters in the roof because I thought it would look cool. So like when we go into like first person mode at the end of this, we'll like be able to look up and you see all these like sort of rafters and beams going across the house. I think it looks sweet. I really wanted that fan. I did. I thought, I mean, to be fair, like you could have a fan that like was, I mean, it could be battery operated. That's the other thing. Like if they added in like generators or something, so you could like the generator had a certain sort of electric capacity, you know, and if you needed more power, you'd have to get more. I don't know. But then is this game turning into like some weird survival game? I don't know. But like that kind of stuff would have been fun. It would have been fun to have that as an addition to the off the grid trait. I think it would have been so good to come with island living as well. Like it's like the perfect pack for it as well. Having all these like secluded island lots. It just makes sense. So it's a shame that it wasn't there. Anyway, thankfully they fixed like the laundry system. So if you have like laundry day stuff, you can now use the wash tub, because before you couldn't like replace it. Like you couldn't replace the water in it. So it was kind of silly. But anyway, going through and doing a little bit of landscaping here, just getting some plants and like shrubbery, covering up most of the sort of grass area where it would be growing to make it look a little bit nicer. So yeah, that's quite good. Nothing too crazy on this. It's pretty basic stuff. Like the house is pretty much done. And then we just do some plants. I do a little swing set around the side as well, I think under one of the trees. I think there was like a CC swing set I saw that was actually off hanging off a palm tree. And I was like, that's so cool. Why would they not do that? Also, this pack would have been so good for hammocks. Like a hammock between a couple of palm trees would have been amazing, wouldn't it? I don't know. Yeah, so I was kind of doing like the swing. I was like, what if I do the swing and it's kind of like it's part of the palm tree, but not really? That's kind of what I was going for, because that would have been sweet. And then I was having a look at a few debug items. I think I got a few debug like plants and all that because when they unlocked all these items, there's actually so many really cool decorative items that we can now use that weren't previously accessible. So I was just placing some of those in and having a bit of fun with it. But that is pretty much the build. We're going to jump into the game now and have a look at it a little bit closer so you get a better idea of what it all looks like. So this is what it looks like in the game. Wow, it's so different from the speed build version. Anyway, so if we actually jump inside in this sort of first person camera mode, you can sort of see what I was talking about the roof and how it's like sort of all opened up like that. And I think it just looks so good when it's like, when you can see the underside of the roof and all the rafters up there. Oh, and by the way, I put that fence up there because I don't know, I felt like it was kind of an extension of the bathroom that maybe it was like built up. Ideally, it's supposed to be like kind of like wall studs that go all the way up to the roof, but obviously it doesn't reach. But that's kind of the idea behind it anyway. So there's a little living room area. And we've got the kitchen area here with the little desk and all that. And then there's the bed. I think this just looks so cool. I really like this. I think this is great. I don't know if I'm going to use this in a Let's Play or something, but I think it looks sweet. So that's basically the living area. And then we go in here to the bathroom, which is nothing too crazy, but it's got like the little sink, the toilet, and that DIY tub from Strangerville. And then the laundry hamper. So that's the build, all off the grid. I guess the only thing is the fridge that is not really off the grid, but it kind of is. So this is what I was talking about with the fridge. So like you have all these options still, but then once you go into some of these, I guess she doesn't really have cooking skill either. But once you go in here, you'll see that some of these are just like doesn't work off the grid, but you can have like salads and garden salads and all that. But there's a lot of stuff that's like you don't have power, so you can't do it. So that's just a heads up. Even like some of the quick meals, you just can't have. Well, I guess even if we had a microwave, it wouldn't work because the microwave wouldn't have power. So, but anyway, so that's just something to be aware of there. And then that is the little build. So if you want to check this out, it is on the gallery under the Sim Supply, and then you can find it just here called Beach Hut. I didn't change the description though. I probably should have done that. That's like the default description of the original lot. But there you go. You can find it on the gallery there. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment or suggestion down below. Let me know what you think of this little hut. Hopefully it works well for off the grid. I tried. It was something that I wanted, because I haven't done an off the grid build yet, so it was something that was a little bit of fun to do, something a bit different. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time, and have an awesome day.